And welcome to the 11th hour. It is 11 a.m. It is Tuesday, the 4th of April, and my name is Kristen Settinelli. We are here today with Jessica Jones, and we have so much prepped for today's show. Jessica, how are you going?
I'm good, thank you.
Oh,
Hi,
good.
everyone. You're right, Kristen. We do have a lot going on in today's show. It's going to be a hell of an hour, and as always, if the viewers would like to keep up to date with the show, you can follow us on Twitter at 11thhour_LTU. Kristen, what's happening on the show today?
Today, we'll be joined by Findley Pollock on the show for a look at brain foods for university students. Will be very interesting. We're going to be looking into the famous Reservoir Hawkers Brewery as well. We'll be looking at as well some of the most awkward and funny moments in Australian politics, which should be a treat. We're going to be joined by Adam Enadis, and he's going to be looking at the recent claims of gay men being systematically rounded up and killed in a Russian region. And also we've got Braden May and Ryan Rosendale. We'll be covering the latest sports news, and we'll be joined by Jessica Whitby on the Comedy Channel. So it's going to be quite a great show today.
That is definitely quite a lineup, and I'm keen to get right into it. But first today, we're joined by Lisa Berg with the day's headlines. Lisa, what's going on around the country today?
An explosion on a St. Petersburg train has left 11 dead and dozens wounded. Around 2:30 p.m. on Monday, a bomb went off at the Sonova Ploshad station just after the train pulled out. There was a second bomb left in a different metro station that did not detonate. It's not clear yet where the attack came from. Initially, police reported the device being left on the train and were in pursuit of 2 people. However, this information has yet to be confirmed. Directly after the blast, the trains continued to run, one even pulling into the station affected from the opposite direction. Transit was shut down shortly afterward, including some streets at ground levels. Russian President Vladimir Putin expressed his condolences to the families of the victims, saying it was too early to say what caused the blast, but it could be criminal or terrorist. Expressions of concern also came in from British Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson and U.S. President Donald Trump. Residents of Rockhampton are bracing themselves as the Fitzroy River continues to rise. The river is expected to rise 9 meters above level today, which is down from the predicted 9.4. This isn't the first time Rockhampton has seen mass flooding, with the river reaching 9.2 meters in January 2011 and 9.3 in January 1991. Evacuation procedures are in place for those living in the community. The wake of Cyclone Debbie has caused damages all along the northeastern coast. Almost 63,000 homes lost power during the storm. 3 men are still missing in Queensland, and 3 deaths have been confirmed. In the wake of Cyclone Debbie, emergency services personnel in Queensland have responded to over 5,000 distress calls and made 180 water rescues. Melbourne City Square was officially closed yesterday as construction started on the Metro Rail Tunnel. Include trains for the Craigieburn, Upfield, Sandringham, Sunbury, Werribee, Cranbourne, and Frankston lines. A 20-meter high shed will cover the construction site to prevent noise and disruption to those living, working, and visiting the CBD. The square will be closed until 2022, and the project is expected to be completed in 2026. The rise in housing prices is a growing problem for young Australians. A report released earlier this week from CoreLogic shows that Melbourne house prices are up almost 16% from last year. The rise means the median house price in Melbourne is at $605,000, just over the threshold for first-time home buyers that are trying to avoid paying stamp duty. The Andrews government abolished stamp duty last month for first-time buyers looking to purchase homes worth up to $600,000. What makes an already tricky housing market even worse is that the number of residential properties advertised is down 6.9% from last year. As well, strong demand for housing is reducing buyers' ability to negotiate prices. Proposed legislation in New South Wales will prevent parents from enrolling unvaccinated children in childcare centres. Opposition Labour leader Luke Foley announced a policy that will not allow parents opposed to vaccination to bring their children to childcare centres. This will also plug the loophole for specialist anti-vaccination childcare facilities. The proposed plan would also cover family daycare options.
Well, thank you so much for that, Lisa. That was
Thank you.
That was great. So what are your thoughts on the whole vaccination legislation in New South Wales?
I think I would be surprised if it did go through. I think it takes away a lot of the parents' rights to choose for their children.
Yeah, exactly right. I think it's a big problem, and I think the government needs to relook at it and, you know, ensure that the parents are getting, you know, the best for their children as well. As well as that, the city square is going to be causing a few problems in the city. That means, you know, traffic, and considering it's one of the main bits of the city, it's going to be quite difficult for really anything to happen until 2022.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's...
Yeah, I think in the end it'll be better. I mean, it is frustrating. Transit system in Melbourne is good, but it would be convenient to have more trains for sure. So
yeah, exactly.
Hopefully the end game is... creates more trains. More
trains, yeah, that's what they've said, and it will definitely cause some havoc, but it's a good thing, you know. There's going to be a lot more trains, lots more transport into the city, which is really, really great because we have a lot of, you know, universities, we have a lot of jobs that are located in the city, and I think it's a really good thing. As well as that, yeah. And stamp duty. Jess, I know you're a big fan of the stamp duty thing.
I am, yes. Yeah. It's always good to see initiatives to help those with lower income, those who are just starting out in the market, so people our age. It's always good to find ways to make things easier for everyone.
Yeah, but I think as well as that, the focus on first home buyers needs to be a little bit more secure. The government should be focusing on removing negative gearing rather than stamp duty. Stamp duty is only such a small amount of money. The government really needs to look at a bigger amount for saving for first home buyers. I think that's the real problem. Yeah. What do you think, Lisa?
Yeah, I agree. I think that negative gearing has made it near impossible for young first-time home buyers and young people to buy houses closer to the city. So it is something to be looked at for sure.
Yeah, exactly. And as well as that, we need to be forcing developers to offer housing at affordable prices for low-income earners. I was actually watching the news the other day, and they created micro apartments for low-income earners. So that was a really good thing that I saw on the news the other day. But as well as that, they should actually, I think, or in my opinion, they should abolish something like Airbnb, because Airbnb, it forces people who aren't exactly looking to pay or getting developers, people who are, you know, rather than paying for rent $380 a week or $300 a week, they're charging people $200 a day, which is quite, you know, quite really silly. And it's causing, you know, developers as well just to really get a lot more money than really renting it out and everything like that. So I think that's really important as well. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you so much for that, Lisa.
Thank you.
We'll see you back again soon. But now we're going to have a short break. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at the 11th hour _LTU. We'll see you right after the break. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everyone. It is the 11th hour. Jess, what do we have up next?
Well, first off today, we'd like to welcome nutrition student and health guru Finn Pollock. Finn's here today to help spread the joys of healthy, tasty food.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, it is so good to have you here today, Findley. How are you finding studying nutrition at La Trobe and looking at the ins and outs of good food, obviously?
Yeah, I love it because it combines the aspect of science but also incorporating that into food.
Of course, definitely.
So with brain foods, what are the main food groups that university students, and especially our La Trobe viewers, should be munching on to ensure they get the best focus and abilities when they're studying?
Yeah, I think carbohydrates are really important. So you've got to remember that there are low GI foods and high GI foods. So low GI foods, they're going to keep you full and satisfied throughout the whole day because they release energy into the bloodstream quite slowly. So something like oats at the beginning of the day is a really good thing to have. And then towards the end of the day, when you need a bit of a pick-me-up, go for a high GI food like a banana because it's going to release really quickly into your bloodstream.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah. So research shows that you can increase your chances of maintaining a healthy brain well into your old age if you add smart foods to your daily eating regime. So what do you think are some of the best smart foods out there?
Yeah, I think omega-3 is really awesome for improving brain health and maintaining it as well. So think of things like salmon. That's a really good food source that is really rich in omega-3.
Yeah.
Other compounds like vitamin K. So think of leafy greens like broccoli and kale. That's really good for brain health too.
Oh, beautiful. And I've also heard of this thing online, something about blueberries. Blueberries are what they call brain berries.
Yeah, so they're rich in what we call antioxidants and they're awesome for the brain. So other awesome foods you could be eating is chocolate. So just limiting to 2 squares a day. So dark chocolate in particular, it's full of antioxidants.
Oh, beautiful. And what about avocados? Because I know I'm a huge fan of avocados. Avocados are like my life. Yeah.
They are fantastic. They're a really good source of fat, and we know that fat keeps you full for long periods of time, as does protein. So incorporating a wide variety of fruits and vegetables in your diet can help you feel full and satisfied throughout the whole day.
Yeah, as well as that, the only thing that I have a question about, Finn, avocados are quite high in calories. Does that, obviously help or benefit to, a better brain food?
Yeah, so energy is really important to help, keep you going throughout the day, just like carbohydrates and all your other food sources are. So ensuring that you get enough calories throughout the entire day is what's going to help you going.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely right. What about stuff like peanut butter and almond butter? Because I'm sure you can agree with me, Jess, that, those are quite delicious and nutritious things to have.
That they are.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so they're really high in protein and fat, but what you want to be making sure is that they're quite low in sodium because sometimes they do add a bit of salt to it. So that can make you feel a little bit dehydrated and you're not going to be getting good health outcomes if you have a lot of salt, in large amounts of foods.
Yeah, definitely. Also, something that I wanted to look at was carbohydrates. Now, I know I kind of keep off the carbohydrates.
Yeah.
But I know they're quite good for you at times. So tell me about carbohydrates because I'm quite, compuffled a little bit. I don't know if that's a word, but I'm quite confused about carbohydrates and if I should, really have them or not.
Yeah, you should be definitely eating them because they're the food's the brain's major fuel source.
Yeah.
So sort of proteins and fats are really important as well, but really make sure you're getting a lot of carbohydrates in. I know there's a lot of mixed evidence at the moment about carbohydrate diets, but what we don't know is that the influence that carbohydrates have on our cognition. So that's what's not really out there in terms of research. So making sure that you're getting a wide variety of fruits and vegetables from a wide variety of macromolecules, you're going to be experiencing really good health outcomes.
Definitely. And Jess, isn't it true that we should be careful with our carb intake as well?
I think so. I do believe, but from what you've just said, Finn, that means we can have free run on the pasta.
Yeah.
Ensuring that you eat a variety of things is what's going to make sure that you get lots of different nutrients. There's no point in just eating one particular food for the rest of your life because you're going to be missing out on a lot of good nutrients. So think of eating a colourful plate.
Yeah. Of course, yeah, and I think that's the main thing. And Finn, I see always on your Instagram you've got a wide variety of different taste buds. So what are some of your favourite things that you eat while you're studying?
While studying, yeah, I love starting the day with just a bowl of oats and topping them with lots of berries. So they're low GI. That whole meal will be low GI and it'll keep you going throughout the day. Cereals, whole grains, they're really good as well. They've got protein and carbohydrate in them and you can put that into a beautiful sandwich, maybe do like a chickpea burger and add add lots of leafy greens in to get your vitamin K intake
that sounds
up.
delicious.
So that's really good.
Beautiful, beautiful. And I'm always concerned about something to eat for dinner. What do you think's a good dinner food, so you make sure that you're not staying up for the rest of the night, you're getting a good night's rest, and making sure that you're, obviously wake up the next morning and feel refreshed and ready to keep on doing you.
Yeah, I think pasta, you were talking about that before, that's a really awesome food to be having, because what you can do is change the noodles up a bit. The key here is variety, and that's what's going to keep you eating lots of healthy, nutritious foods so you don't get bored with it. Try and eat your meal probably 2 hours before you go to bed, just so your digestive system is working properly, and it's all fully digested before you go to bed.
Yeah. And what are some other health factors impacting brain function?
Yeah, so I think sleep, it's a really big thing, and stress as well. So if you could just plan out what you're eating and, uni work schedule and schedule those things around that, you'll find that you're probably going to be working at a, better level in terms of your brain and cognition function.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. I think that's been great. Ben, thank you so much.
Thank you.
This has been such an eye-opening discussion. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter at the 11th hour _LTU. And don't forget to shoot us a tweet as well. We'd be more than happy to read out some questions live on air. We hope you've enjoyed the show so far, but it's now 11:16. We're going to have a short break. Stay tuned and don't go anywhere, folks.